Buenos días. Y bienvenidos. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson on Sunday, March 30th. My name is Bob Gordon and I'm the worship associate this morning. Some housekeeping first. Please be sure your cell phone is turned off, or on mute at least. There are 2 gender-specific restrooms in the lobby of this building. And in the alcove behind the AV desk there is a gender-neutral bathroom, which is also wheelchair accessible. In our Goddard Hall across the patio, there are 2 more gender-neutral bathrooms, one of which is also wheelchair accessible. And in Goddard, we offer a more casual setting for worship. On behalf of the congregation, a warm welcome to all visitors, including those watching us on live stream. We aspire to make this church community a safe space, a sanctuary for everyone. Please join me in this welcoming litany by responding to each prompt with the words, "We welcome you." Whatever your country of birth or native language, we welcome you. However you identify your race, your ethnicity, your gender, or your sexuality, we welcome you. Whatever your immigration status, we welcome you. Whether you've been a Unitarian Universalist all of your life, or this is your first time in a UU church, we welcome you. And speaking of that, if you are a visitor and you're willing and able, please raise your hand so that we can recognize you with a warm UUCT welcome. All right. And this might be a great time to issue a special welcome to our guest musician, who just happens to be Danielle's husband. Sorry. Ben Constantinides as our guest musician, and you'll hear more from him today. As we worship today, let's be mindful of those desert people who were here before us, who came first to this place, and whose land has been stolen through successive acts of genocide and displacement. We honor the Ohotam, the Yaqui, the Apache. We also remember the Hohokam and the other indigenous peoples whose names we no longer know. Now I just invite you to pair up with someone, preferably not the person you came with, and take turns giving each person time to listen and time to speak. One of our core UU values is justice. So please respond to this prompt. Either, what does justice mean to you, or what would a just world look like?
Usually, at this point, in inviting you to come back into this room, we would say, we hope these conversations continue in social hour. But I want to invite you not just to continue the conversation, but to continue the good work that we're doing in the world, creating those visions of justice. Our call to worship today is an invocation by Reverend Angela Herrera Corian. Don't leave your broken heart at the door. Bring it to the altar of life. Don't leave your anger behind. It has high standards, and the world needs your vision. Bring them with you, and your joy and your passion. Bring your loving and your courage and your conviction. Bring your need for healing and your power to heal. There is work for you to do, and you have all you need to do it right here in this room.
Please join me in our words for chalice lighting from the Reverend Lois E. Van Leer. You read the italicized lines, and I'll read the plain font. We light this chalice,
Not because we must, but because we can.
we light this chalice,
Not because we have the truth, but because we teach from bearing and seeking many truths.
we light this chalice,
In connection across culture, distance, class, and language.
we light this chalice that our religion may be a beacon.
Of light, hope, and justice.
We light this chalice to kindle our hearts and our minds.
This song, Swimming to the Other Side, is written by Pat Humphries, and Brian was telling me before the service, actually NPR did a 10-minute piece on just this song that would be worth going back and listening to. I did not, because I only found out about it right before the service, but I invite you to join me in doing that later. And apparently, when Pat Humphries wrote the song, she actually had to record it into a recorder because it was coming to her so fast she couldn't get it written down fast enough. And Pete Seeger, who's a fan of Pat Humphries, said, this is just that kind of song that's going to be a folk song icon. And I hope you'll join us on the chorus. So we'll start with the chorus. You're welcome to join in if you know it. If you don't know it, you'll catch it, and we'll come back around to it. Beneath the great big dipper, we are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility, I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, nourishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
Amen to the choir. Amen to the choir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe, and I have the great honor and privilege of serving this congregation alongside my colleague, Reverend Jamili Omar. And this is Adios by Naomi Shihab Nye. It's a good word rolling off the tongue. No matter what language you were born with, use it. Learn where it begins, the small alphabet of departure, how long it takes to think of it, then say it, then be heard. Marry it. More than any golden ring, it shines, it shines. Wear it on every finger till your hands dance, touching everything easily, letting everything easily go. Strap it to your back like wings, or kite tail, the stream of air behind a jet. If you are known for anything, let it be the way you rise out of sight when your work is finished. Think of things that linger, leaves, cartons and napkins, the damp smell of mold. Think of things that disappear. Think of what you love best, what brings tears to your eyes. Something that says adios to you before you knew what it meant or for how long it was for. Explain little. The word explains itself. Later, perhaps, lessons following lessons, like silence following sound. That ends our reading. For those of you who might not have heard, I let the congregation know this past Thursday that this will be my final year here. These are happy tears and sad tears too. My last day will be June 30th, 2025. To be very clear, I am not leaving because of anything or anyone here. Thank you for that little laugh. That was meant to be a laugh line. I am not leaving because of anything or anyone here. My family just has this growing desire to be closer to our family, to our friends, who are scattered throughout mostly the northeastern United States. And we are leaving you so we can be closer to them. And I want to be clear again that we, my family and I, have stayed longer than we expected to here. We have stayed longer because we love you, this congregation, and this wild city of misfits here in Tucson, Arizona. We have loved you much more than we expected to. And it is time for us to go, for me to find my next ministry, for my family to embark on our next adventure. I feel some questions in the midst. Where are you going? Some of you are asking. There's no news to share yet. But these past few months, I have been confidentially interviewing with a few congregations, settled ministry positions in the northeastern U.S., and I will soon be able to say where we will be moving this summer. And when I can let you know where, I promise you will hear from me. Some of you might also be asking, what does this mean for Reverend Jamili? I'll just say that I have loved working with Reverend Jamili these past 7 years. And I have felt our collective love for her grow as she began seminary, became our intern, and then when you ordained her to the ministry last fall. And it's not mine to say where Reverend Jamili or the congregation goes from here. That is yours and hers to decide. You can stay after worship today, though, if you're curious, have questions or feelings that you want to share. Your board is holding a listening session right here at 12:15. But for now, know that I am in no rush to leave you. And I encourage you to not be in a rush to get me out. Goodbyes call for slow and intentional movements. When I was in my candidating week with you all, that week-long interview, remember that? 7 years ago, a whole week. Why do we do this? I made you a promise that when my time came to leave, I would do my part to offer you a good goodbye. And I asked then that we all consider right then, before you even agreed to say yes to me, from the beginning, what it might take then and now for you to do your part to have a good goodbye. I made that promise to you because you had told me even that early on about far too many less than good goodbyes and your 7 decades of ministers, staff, and lay leaders leaving. Some of those goodbyes were absolutely heartbreaking. I know you carry them with you. They were heartbreaking for this congregation, for your former ministers, for former staff, for former lay leaders. So I made you a promise to do my part of a good goodbye, and now is the time when I make good on that promise. At the risk of completely ignoring Naomi Shihab Nye's advice to explain little, I'm going to spend a little time explaining what a good goodbye means to me. AV team, this is the time for that slide. Thank you. In seminary, a professor taught me that a good goodbye has 4 parts. Thank you. Forgive me, I forgive you, and goodbye. These next 3 months, we will wind our way through, around these steps together, synchronously and asynchronously, chaotically and orderly, completely and incompletely. We will do some goodbye work together publicly right here, and other times in small groups, or maybe even one-on-one. If there are things that you need to say to me personally to put a period on your and my pastoral relationship, I will make time for a one-on-one conversation if you would like that. We could meet in my office over Zoom, on a hike, over coffee, or you could say something over text or email, however you need to do that. When you are ready, just let me know. Now, this list is great. It's great. It's tangible, really simple to remember. You can use it here or outside of church. But this framework of a good goodbye is not a checklist, right? If we treat it like one, we risk ignoring the opportunities for us to change and be changed. Which is to say, if we want to do this goodbye differently, UUCT, we need to leave space for ourselves to be transformed by saying goodbye. So what if we think of these 4 things not as a checklist, but like a rough map of uncharted territory? A map we can consult as we navigate our way to a new way of saying goodbye. A journey through goodbye at this congregation, and also a journey reflecting on how we have said goodbye in our lives, for better and for worse, and how we want to say goodbye in the future. There are a lot of ways to say goodbye. You've experienced some of them, I'm sure. One thing we know is that our preferred habits around saying goodbye repeat themselves throughout our lives and even sometimes follow us to our deaths. Reverend Roy M. Oswald wrote a small book, 1978, called Running Through the Thistles, and it remains the text that colleagues recommend to one another when we are ending a ministry. Reverend Oswald encourages ministers to get in touch with their closure style, which we could all do in this moment. He encourages us to think about the last party we were at and how we left that party, paying close attention to our personal feelings as we relive the memory. He says that how we say goodbye at parties is how we could say goodbye in death, if we have any choice in that. So the person who wants to hug every person before they leave the party will want to be surrounded by their loved ones as they go, right? The person who prefers to leave unnoticed will die in their sleep, or when the nurse sends the family to the vending machine to get a snack. Nurses, am I right? Those are just 2 examples, but you get the idea. I think Oswald's request that we reflect on how we leave a party is good, wise. And I also wonder if some of you leave a party differently than you leave friends and close family. If anything that is different for you. When I think about how I leave a party, and that I mean like there are some strangers there, I like to sneak out the door without anybody noticing. Because the work of goodbye is hard. And at a casual party, I would prefer to not put in that emotional effort. But when I say goodbye to family or friends who feel like family, I work the room. I go around to every person, even the one I'm not talking to, you know the one, and give each person a hug. I come from a hugging people, a hugging and a crying people. I share and I love you, a good to see ya, even if it wasn't, a thanks for the conversation, right? These next few months, I want us, as much as we can, to lean into a goodbye that includes the I love yous, the forgive me's, the words goodbye. I want us to say goodbye as family or close friends do. And I want you to remember something else. This actually is my first rodeo as your minister. Which is not to say that I need you to hold my hand, but it is to say that some of you have deep wisdom to offer this moment. Many of you have said many goodbyes before. Many of you have said goodbyes to ministers before, and some of that went well, and some of it didn't go well, and I think you know the difference and what made it possible. So ready or not, it's time we begin. What's the first step? Thank you. Which is another way of saying I love you, right? Gratitude gives voice to our love. It's only fair to me to start, although some of you have already started. Thank you. Thank you, UUCT, for being a great place to begin ministry. Thank you for the risk of saying yes to hard work. Thank you for showing up with your whole selves, even the icky stuff. Thank you for letting go when you needed to and saying yes when you could. Thank you for taking my trust in you seriously. And thank you for trusting me in return. Thank you for naming when trust was broken and for being willing to repair it. Thank you for showing up at court that first year, in the streets, on the trails, in the coffee shop. Thank you for bearing your souls. Thank you for asking good questions. Thank you for telling great jokes. Thank you for getting on Zoom quickly so we could stay connected. And thank you for going along with the journey of collaborative worship with the Baja 4, some of you with more enthusiasm than others. Thank you for setting boundaries. And thank you for respecting my boundaries. Thank you for trusting, even when you didn't fully understand the boundary. Thank you for diving deep into your history and unearthing all those artifacts we found. Thank you for trusting me with the congregation's stories. Thank you for surrounding me with your love and protection when I needed it most. Thank you for meeting this moment, this rising tide of fascism and white supremacy. Thank you for being a place that is resisting and not obeying in advance. Thank you for disagreeing with me. And thank you for admitting you were wrong. And thank you for your grace when I fessed up to my own mistakes and wrongness. And now the one I know I can't say without tears. Thank you for loving my kid and us as new parents. Thank you for taking Otis in as your own before you even met him. Thank you for these things and so much more. My gratitude is unending. I hope you might have a thing or two to thank me for, and I'd love to hear it if you haven't already shared it in the coming weeks and months. Remember this: the work we have done together is yours to hold, yours to continue and build upon. I believe and I feel in my bones that this congregation is on the precipice of something exciting and transformational, something which none of you could do alone. Wherever you go from here, know that I will be cheering you on, whether you can hear my voice or not. I'll end with a short poem that I have pinned to my desktop currently. This is When the Fall Feels Inevitable by Rosemary Watola Tromer. The space between this moment and the next stretches like a tightrope. Let my love for you be not net, but wings. Let my love for you be not net, but wings. Thank you for these 7 years. Now begins our good goodbye, and then the wings, which I believe are already growing in you, in this beloved community.
Why are you struggling these days? Why are you trying to earn grace? Why are you crying? Let me lift up your face. Just don't turn away. Why are you looking for love? Why are you still searching as if I'm not enough? To where will you go, child? Tell me, where will you run? To where will you run? And I'll be by your side whenever you fall in the dead of night. Whenever you call, and please don't bite these hands that are holding you. My hands are holding here at my side wherever you fall in the day of night, whenever you call, and please don't fight these hands that are holding you. My hands are holding you. And in I love you. I want you to know. And I love you. I'll never let you go. And I'll be by your side wherever you fall in the dead of night, wherever you call, and please don't fight these hands that are holding you. My hands are holding here at my side whenever you fall in the dead of night, whenever you fall, and please don't fight these hands that are holding you. My hands are holding you. And here at my side, my hands are holding you.
This is the time in our service when we lift up the joys and sorrows of the congregation. The bowl we use each week holds the large rocks, which symbolize our collective mournings and celebrations. And the smaller stones you will add signify our individual joys and sorrows. Like the bowl, our community is strong enough to hold all of these. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, I invite you to go to menti.com and put in the code 4210-0662. You may include your name if you'd like. If any of you here in the sanctuary wish to put your thoughts up on Menti and need assistance, Brian Moon can help. If you're here in person, I invite you to come up to the table in a few minutes and create ripples of hope by putting a stone into the water. That will symbolize your own joy or sorrow. You may come from both sides at the same time. If standing for a long time is difficult, please feel free to come directly to the front or wait until the end. And while we're doing this ritual this week, Brian and a few others will be singing quietly. You may join them if you'd like.
No, I'm good for now. Maybe for the story. On our Mentimeter today, I've now worked with closely 15 plus ministers, and Reverend Bethany, you have been my favorite. Thank you for your leadership and ministry. Go with my love and support, Brian M. Thanks, Ben, Wendy, and all. I didn't feel much like singing today, but I needed these songs. Brian M. Reverend Bethany is leaving. She'll go on to something else greater than we can imagine. Please have Bethany read this one. Too late? Sorry. Thank you, friend. We will miss you, Bethany. I'm glad I joined this community. Hope for the best for your family. Reverend Bethany, we are so sorry you are leaving, and we will miss you terribly, and we will love you forever. You are so amazing. Happy to let you all know that I am feeling better from the accident. Still some pain, but not nearly as much. I now have no car, so must rely on rides to join you. Oh, please, we hope you can soon. Sad to say goodbye, but understanding and wishing her and her family a bright future. Grateful for great company and companionship at the auction dinner we hosted last night, and for the opportunity to get to know people better and build more community. What a wonderful way to get to know people. Thank you all. And for all those not shared with us today, let's hold a moment of silence. Our prayer words today come from the Reverend Michelle LaGrave. In-betweenness, appropriate for today. We, you and I, are in between right now. In between what was and what will be. In between who we were and who we will become. In between letting go and embracing. In between saying hello and saying goodbye. The in-betweenness, it's a thing. In-betweenness is a time of fullness, a time of anticipation, a time of hope, a time of worry, and a time of sadness. In-betweenness is a time of waiting, waiting for news, waiting for departure, waiting for arrival, waiting for death, waiting for life. In-betweenness is a time of transformation, a time of reflection, a time of action, a time of growing, a time of becoming. During this time of in-betweenness, of knowing and not knowing, let us enter into the silence together. Amen, and blessed be.
Every year at this time, we have our stewardship campaign, asking members and friends to make a pledge to support the church for the coming year. And every year I ask myself, why have I been supporting UU churches for the past 60 years? And why this one for the last 14? I have a lot of answers, but here are just a few. This church welcomes and supports my spiritual growth with lifespan faith development programming. Our worship services nourish me emotionally and intellectually. Singing in the choir and serving as worship associate are ministries where I can contribute to the life of the congregation. Steve and I have, it's a tough morning. All I have to do is mention my husband's name and I'm choked up. And I'm not even going to say anything. I'm going to say something really positive. All I'm going to say is Steve and I have made many wonderful friends here. And most importantly, here's where I know I belong. So as we take this morning's offerings to support the work of the church, think about why you support UUCT. And if you haven't made your annual pledge, please do so as soon as possible. The ushers will now circulate baskets for your donations.
Good morning. I'm Wendy Gordon Weeks. I'm the president of this amazing congregation. And thank you. I want to first invite everyone to social hour after the service in Goddard Hall, which is out those double doors to your left behind you. There will be coffee, iced tea, lemonade, snacks, and as always, good company. Social hour refreshments and food are free for all, but we gratefully accept any donation you're willing to make to cover our costs. If you're new and you'd like to stay in touch with us, you can fill out a guest information card in the Welcome Center in Goddard. You will also find a virtual guest information card in the newcomer section of our website. And we've got a lot of announcements this morning. I'll try to be as quick as I can. As of this morning, we have received $237,126 in pledges. Woohoo! From 89 pledge units. We're so happy that 65% of people have raised their pledges, and we've received 16 new pledges. Thank you so much to everyone who's pledged so far. We are 83% towards our minimum goal, 76% towards our dream goal, and a reminder that our minimum goal is actually a 10% increase in pledges from this year, and our dream goal is a 20% increase. These are the final days of the pledge campaign. We still expect to gather quite a few pledges from our members and friends. So if you haven't already, please fill out a pledge form before you leave church today. You can find one at the stewardship table in social hour or scan the QR codes on the flyers on the doors, everywhere really. We want that pledge. From our Social Justice Council, there is an Indigenous Resistance to Mass Deportations, Human Rights Violations at the Border presentation, 12:30 Sunday, April 6th. That's a week from today, here in the Holland Sanctuary. So don't miss this amazing presentation by Tohono O'odham tribal elder and activist Ophelia Rivas, a founder of O'odham Voice Against the Wall, who will be in Tucson to speak about the human rights violations, border patrol violence, and the impact of the occupation of the Tohono O'odham Reservation at the Arizona-Mexico border by the U.S. Border Patrol, who have been trying to deport Navajo and O'odham people living here for thousands of years. UUCT is hosting a Beyond the Binary conference for trans and gender non-binary people and their allies on Saturday, April 26th. We do need volunteers, so please see Reverend Jamili or keep an eye out in the weekly e-blast to sign up. And if you did not see it in the email this week, just my addition to Reverend Bethany's letter, I would like to share with you because I want to make sure everybody gets to hear. I first want to express my deep, deep gratitude for Reverend Bethany and her ministry and the love that she's held our congregation these past 7 years. I was one of the very first people to meet her because I was on that search committee that brought her. So I just, whew. And I'm also really grateful for the opportunity to have a good ending to her ministry and a positive parting, because we've learned so much in our conflict transformation and healing and accountability work with Reverend Sam, and I'm confident we can move through this transition with health and with respect and care for each other. You may be wondering what our plans are. Reverend Bethany said she doesn't get to say, we do. So we will be talking about it. The board has started to plan for it. We're so fortunate to have Reverend Jamili, who knows us well. She cares for us. She'll be staying on in a ministerial capacity with us. And we'll be hiring someone else to hold the transition and help Reverend Jamili and us determine what she and we want long term. It's really a gift to be able to take our time and be thoughtful and intentional about what comes next. We don't need to rush, and we're so grateful for that. And we've talked with Reverend Jamili. She's in agreement about staying on. She's not running away. So we, your board, will be hosting a listening session right after the service, or not right after, at 12:15 in here. And we invite you to come both to process your reactions and with any questions or concerns you might have as we move into this transition. You'll hear more details soon about our transition plan and our plans for a send-off for Reverend Bethany, but let's just keep on keeping the communication open and keep on giving each other grace as we do so well. And if you have any questions or any concerns for the board, you can come find me in social hour or anybody with one of these blue lanyards. That's how you can find us. We're members of your board, and we always want to hear from you. Thank you.
And now, may we sing our kids in, maybe? We are grateful for community, for gifts we share, and how we show our love and care. With thinking minds and helping hands, we'll build a place where love and hope expand.
So friends, I have a story for us. And it
Test. I've got 6.
we might need somebody to. Okay, well, we have, no, I'm good. Okay, so I have a story for us, and it is a picture book. So I'm going to sit here in the rocking chair. Anybody that would like to come up and see the pictures up close on my magical device, you're welcome to come up. Keep in mind, kids, you will probably be on camera, so adults, if that's okay for you. Any adults are welcome up here, too. I know we have some floor-sitting adults. You're welcome. And the pictures will be on the screen with us. Are we ready? This book is called The Boy with the Big, Big Feelings. Good choice for today, huh? The Boy with the Big, Big Feelings. There was once a boy with wavy hair. He had lots of big feelings that he liked to share. When playing outside on the yellowest days, a loud truck might rumble by. And wouldn't you know it, that big heart of his would push feelings right out of his eyes. That's happened to some of us already this morning. Our feelings came out of our eyes. At night, when the shadows would form on the walls and fear would steal all of his rest, those feelings of his made it hard to breathe. They jumped up and down in his chest. Have you ever felt that at night? The feelings were too big to ignore? Sometimes, when his play had come to an end or when things didn't go as he'd planned, the feelings would run down the length of his arms and clench when they got to his hands. Show me your mad hands. Show me your mad hands. Yeah, our mad hands. He felt happy feelings as big as the others, from tickles and hide and go seek and jokes and races and stories and songs that made feelings glow from his cheeks. Show me your big happy. The kids got it. The adults struggled with happy, I tell you. Beautiful things would stick in his brain and not leave him for hours and hours. The fur of a dog, a fluffy white cloud, Ben's trombone playing, his mama, a banjo, some flowers. What would you add to the list? Beautiful things that stick in your head. My dog. Tucson Folk Fest. Sunsets. Oh, and the Folk Fest. Reverend Bethany. Dear friends. But when someone he loved had a very hard day, he'd feel he'd been over-equipped to feel all their feelings as deeply as they, which would quiver right out of his lip. Do you see in this picture, he's feeling what his grown-up is feeling there? Yeah. Sometimes we take on other people's feelings. He wondered, why me? Why this big giant heart in a world that's so heavy and kind, where all of the feelings under the sun feel as if they were made to be mine? Why me? So the boy tried to stuff all his feelings deep down to control what he thought he should hide. afraid of what others would make fun of him if they saw all he felt deep inside. Would they think he was weak, dramatic, afraid? Would they call him a wimp or a baby? If they saw the big thumping heart in his chest, would they not want to play with him, maybe? But while swinging one day, feeling oh so alone, he noticed a girl feeling blue. He marveled, what's that? Could it be? Yes, indeed, her emotions were extra big too. Are you okay? The boy asked the girl. I'm fine, just sometimes I get sad. He said, you do? Hey, I get sad too. I get scared and silly and mad. The two became pals who shared their big hearts, not feeling they had to pretend when they needed to cry or to laugh big and loud, since feelings had helped them make friends. And soon they noticed there were other big hearts in the classroom, the playground, the bus, and they smiled as they learned that it wasn't just them. Big emotions affect all of us. So I imagine there's some of us feeling some big emotions today or in the future. Maybe we'll feel some big emotions. What do we do when we feel big feelings? What might we do with those? Say it louder. When we've got big feelings. Write poetry. Talk to our friends. Artwork. Okay, so for those of us that didn't hear that one, we had a small voice from the corner say, suck it up. Sometimes we have to move through feelings, and maybe suck it up is not the best advice. Athena. Cry. Laugh. Go for a walk. Think of the ocean waves. Dance. We know how to do this, friends, and we know how to do this together. And we're going to do this together. Big feelings at all. And kids, I want to warn you, sometimes when grown-ups have big feelings, we act kind of funny. Feelings sometimes come out sideways and not directly. So feel free to call us on it. If you see us being mean, say grown-ups. We got this. Everything we need is here now.
When the Ghanaian rock group Osabisa released the song we're about to sing, they listed on the track listing for this song that the backup singers were friends. Somehow that makes it special to me to join in singing. Please rise as you are able. The words will be on the screen. It's 10:20 in the teal hymnal. We are going, heaven knows how we are going, but we know we've been, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Please be seated.
Our words for chalice extinguishing come from the Reverend Carrie Holly Hurt. She writes, "Love holds you. Love bears witness to all your inherent dignity and worthiness. It witnesses how you succeed, how you try, and how you fail. And it does not flinch. Love will not